Hello, and welcome to Super English Talks. I'm really happy that you're here today. In this episode, we're going to talk about something special, lessons about success that come from people who lived thousands of years ago, the ancient philosophers. Now, you might wonder, why should I care about people who lived so long ago? The world today is so different. That's a good question. But here's something interesting. Even though the world has changed, the problems we face as human beings are still very similar. We all feel stuck sometimes. We all face failures or hard times. And many of us still wonder what success really means. These are not new questions. People have been asking them for thousands of years. Philosophers like Socrates, Aristotle, Confucius, and Marcus Aurelius spent their lives thinking deeply about how to live a good life and how to find true happiness. Their ideas can still help us today. They can help us understand ourselves better, think more clearly, and stay strong when life feels difficult or confusing. So, in this episode, I want to take you on a journey, not only through history, but also inside your own mind and heart. Let's begin with a simple but powerful question. What does success mean to you? For some people, success means earning a lot of money. For others, it means being happy, healthy, or at peace. Some say success is about being wise, kind, or building strong relationships. There isn't one right answer. Success looks different for every person, and that's exactly what makes it interesting. You get to decide what success means for you. Think about it for a moment. What makes you feel proud? What makes your life meaningful? What keeps you going when things are hard? Sometimes we feel lost. We don't know where to start. We're afraid of making mistakes or failing. But remember, you're not alone. People have felt the same way for thousands of years. The ancient philosophers didn't just tell people what to do, they taught us how to think differently. They showed that when you change your thoughts, you can change your life. In this episode, we'll explore some of their most powerful ideas that can help you live better, think deeper, and feel stronger. We'll talk about why your mindset matters more than your situation. Why being consistent is better than being perfect. How knowing yourself can help you make the right choices. Why community and relationships are part of real success. And how to accept change instead of being afraid of it. These aren't quick fixes or simple life hacks. They're lessons to live by. They invite you to pause, reflect, and grow at your own pace. By the end of this episode, I hope you'll feel inspired to create your own philosophy of success, one that fits your values, your dreams, and your way of living. So, take a deep breath. Relax. Let's begin this journey together. Ask yourself, what is stopping you from starting? What small step could you take today toward a better mindset or a fuller life? Keep those questions in mind as we move forward. Thanks for being here, and now let's dive in. What does success really mean? Now that we've started thinking about success, let's go a little deeper. What does success really mean? At first, it might seem like a simple question, but it's actually one of the hardest and most important questions we can ask. For many people, success means being rich, having a lot of money, buying nice things, or living a comfortable life. When you watch movies or scroll on social media, you often see successful people living in big houses, driving fancy cars, or wearing expensive clothes. It's easy to think that money equals success. And it's true. Money can bring comfort and freedom. It allows us to travel, enjoy good food, and take care of our family. But is that all there is to success? There are many people in the world who have a lot of money but still feel unhappy or empty inside. They might have everything they want, except peace of mind. So, maybe success is not only about money. Another way to think about success is happiness. Feeling happy, peaceful, and content can also be a form of success. Sometimes success means being proud of who you are, even if your life isn't perfect. Sometimes it means helping others, learning something new, or simply doing your best every day. True success doesn't have one single definition. It grows and changes as we grow and change. The most important thing is to find a kind of success that feels right for you, not for society, not for other people, but for you. The meaning of happiness and success. Many people believe that being happy is the true meaning of success. For them, success means enjoying everyday life, smiling more often, and feeling peaceful inside. Happiness doesn't always come from big achievements or big changes. It can come from small, simple things, like spending time with your family, laughing with friends, doing a job you love, or even taking a quiet walk outside on a sunny afternoon. But happiness is not just about feeling good all the time. Real happiness also means feeling satisfied and proud of yourself, even when life is hard. Think about a time when you finished a difficult project, solved a tough problem, or helped someone who really needed it. You probably felt tired, but also proud and content inside. That feeling, that quiet joy after effort, is a different kind of success. It's success as a feeling, not just a goal or a number. Success as wisdom. Another way to understand success is through wisdom. This idea comes from ancient philosophers who taught that true success is not about what you own, but about how wisely you live your life. Wisdom means understanding life's challenges, making good choices, and learning from your mistakes. A wise person doesn't just follow what everyone else says or does. Instead, they think for themselves. They listen, reflect, and find their own path forward. When you are wise, you can stay calm even in hard times. You know that every problem can teach you something valuable. Wisdom helps you grow stronger, kinder, and more thoughtful. So in this way, success is not about what you have, but who you become, what you've learned, and how you've grown as a person. Success has many meanings. All these different ideas, success as wealth, happiness, or wisdom, are important. But here's the most important thing to remember. Success means different things to different people. What feels like success to one person might not feel the same to someone else. For example, in some cultures, success means being a good parent, supporting your family, and helping your community. In other cultures, success might be about reaching personal goals, gaining independence, or standing out as an individual. That's why it's so important to think about success in a personal way, to ask yourself, what does success really mean for me? When you think of success as something personal and many-sided, life becomes easier and more meaningful. It helps you stop comparing yourself to others or feeling pressure to live up to someone else's idea of success, like getting a certain job, earning a specific salary, or buying something expensive just to fit in. Instead, you can focus on what truly matters to you, the things that make you feel proud, happy, or strong. Success doesn't have to be big or dramatic. It can be small and simple. It could be finishing a book you started, improving your English, learning a new skill, or making a new friend. These might seem like small steps, but each one is meaningful. Each one is a real success in its own way. And it's also important to remember something else. Success is not a straight path. Sometimes you move forward quickly, and other times you take small steps or even fall back a little. That's normal. That's part of the journey. Every experience, good or bad, teaches you something. Every step helps you grow. And as long as you keep learning, trying and moving forward, you are already succeeding. Learning from setbacks. Sometimes you might feel like you have failed. Maybe something didn't go the way you planned, or you made a mistake that left you disappointed. But in reality, every mistake is a chance to learn and grow. The ancient philosophers taught that setbacks and failures are not the end of success. They are part of it. Every challenge gives you a new opportunity to understand yourself better and to build a stronger mindset. So, the next time you feel discouraged, try to pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to move forward? When you look at your problems as lessons, you begin to see success in a deeper way. It's not just about what you achieve, but about how you grow through every experience. Your own idea of success. Now, take a moment to think about your own idea of success. What do you want most in your life? Is it peace of mind? Is it strong, loving relationships? Maybe it's knowledge, creativity, or simply feeling proud of who you are. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. Your success is your own. It's something personal and unique to you. When you understand this, you can start making choices that match who you are, not just what others expect from you. You can build a life that feels meaningful and true to your values. Preparing for ancient wisdom. In this episode, we're going to explore some important lessons from ancient philosophers that can help you shape this personal idea of success. These lessons will show you how to change your mindset, be consistent rather than perfect, understand yourself better, and accept change with courage. For now, I want you to keep thinking about success as something rich and many-sided, not just one thing. Before we move on, ask yourself, when have I felt successful, even in a small way? What made that moment special? How did it feel inside? Reflecting on these small but powerful moments helps you connect more deeply with what truly matters to you. Success isn't only about big achievements like getting a promotion, buying a house, or becoming famous. It's also about finding meaning in the journey, in every step you take, in every lesson you learn, and in every small victory along the way. Thanks for listening carefully. Now, let's continue our journey together. Lesson 1. The power of mindset, stoicism, and resilience. Now that we've explored what success means to us, let's look at one of the most powerful lessons from ancient philosophy, the power of mindset. This lesson comes from a group of ancient thinkers called the Stoics. Have you ever heard of Stoicism? It's a way of thinking about life that started more than 2,000 years ago, and it still helps people all over the world today. Some of the most famous Stoic philosophers were Marcus Aurelius, a wise Roman emperor, and Epictetus, who was once a slave but later became a respected teacher. Even though their lives were very different, they both taught something very similar, that we can live well even when life is difficult. One of the main ideas in Stoicism is this: we cannot control everything that happens around us. Sometimes things happen that we don't want. We might lose a job, argue with a friend, or face problems we didn't expect. According to the Stoics, what makes us unhappy is not what happens to us, but how we react to it. They believed that we should focus only on what we can control, our thoughts, feelings, and actions, and accept what we cannot control. This isn't always easy, but it's incredibly powerful. When you stop fighting the things you can't change and start focusing on what you can, you find peace, strength, and clarity. Building a strong mindset. Learning from the Stoics. Think about this for a moment. Imagine you have studied hard for an important exam. You did your best to prepare. You reviewed all your notes, practiced questions, and slept well the night before. But on the day of the test, you feel nervous. Your hands shake, your mind goes blank and you make some mistakes. Now, you can't go back and change what already happened, but you can decide how to respond. You could feel angry, sad, or disappointed. You could tell yourself that you failed and give up. Or you could take a deep breath and say, "Okay, I made some mistakes. Next time, I'll learn from them and do better." Stoicism encourages us to choose that second option, the one that helps us grow. This is how we build resilience, the ability to recover from setbacks, stay strong, and keep going even when things don't go as planned. A personal example. Let me share something from my own experience. A few years ago, I started learning a new language. At first, it was very difficult. I made a lot of mistakes when speaking, and I often felt embarrassed or frustrated. Sometimes I even thought, maybe I'll never be good at this. But then I remembered something similar to the Stoic way of thinking. I realized that I couldn't control how fast I learned, but I could control how much I practiced. So, instead of feeling upset, I focused on small improvements every day. I practiced speaking, listened carefully, and tried to stay patient with myself. Slowly, I began to see progress. Over time, I got better, not because I was perfect, but because I kept going. That's the power of mindset. Seeing problems differently. The Stoics also remind us that bad things will happen sometimes. That's just part of life. And it's completely normal to feel upset when they do. But they ask us to pause and think, is this problem really as bad as it seems? Often, our worries feel bigger in our minds than they are in reality. By accepting that some things are outside of our control, we can reduce stress and find more peace inside ourselves. Reflect on your own reactions. So, here's a question for you. How do you react when things don't go your way? Do you get angry, worried, or sad? Or do you try to stay calm and look for a way forward? Of course, it's not easy to always respond the right way. We're all human, and emotions are part of life. But the first step is simply being aware of your reactions. When you notice how you respond, you can start to change your mindset little by little. A Stoic practice. Negative visualization. One useful idea from Stoicism is called negative visualization. It might sound strange at first, but it's a simple and powerful practice. It means thinking ahead about what could go wrong, not to scare yourself, but to prepare your mind emotionally. For example, before giving a presentation, you might imagine that something unexpected happens. Maybe your slides don't work, or you forget a few words. If you've already imagined these things, you'll be calmer if they actually happen. This practice helps you stay ready and strong, no matter what challenges come your way. The mindset muscle. Think of your mindset like a muscle. The more you practice controlling your thoughts, the stronger it becomes. Every time you focus on what you can control and accept what you can't, your resilience grows. This doesn't mean you should ignore problems or hide your feelings. It means facing challenges with courage and calm instead of fear or frustration. Final thoughts. In the next parts of this podcast, we'll explore more lessons connected to this idea, like being consistent and learning to understand yourself better. But for now, keep this thought in your heart. Success is not only about what happens to us. It's about how we respond. The Stoics teach us that true strength comes from inside, from our own mind, from the way we think and choose to act. So this week, pay attention to your reactions. When something difficult happens, try to remember the Stoic idea. Focus on what you can control and accept the rest. You might find that you feel less stressed, more peaceful, and more ready to move forward. Lesson 2. Consistency over perfection. Aristotle's golden mean. In our last lesson, We talked about the power of mindset and how the Stoic philosophers taught us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. Now, let's explore another powerful idea from a different ancient thinker, Aristotle. Aristotle lived more than 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece, but his ideas about balance and moderation are still very useful in today's fast and busy world. The golden mean, finding balance. Aristotle believed in something called the golden mean. This idea is simple, but very wise. It means finding a middle path, a balanced place between two extremes. Imagine a scale. On one side, you have too much of something, on the other side, too little. Aristotle said that living well means staying somewhere in the middle, not too much, not too little, but just the right amount. For example, think about courage. Courage is a wonderful quality, but if you have too much courage, you might act without thinking. That becomes recklessness. If you have too little courage, you might always hold yourself back. That becomes fear. The secret, according to Aristotle, is balance. The same idea can help us in every part of life, in work, learning, relationships, and especially in our journey toward success. Perfectionism versus progress. Many people struggle with something called perfectionism, the belief that everything must be perfect before you begin. Maybe you've thought this way too. You might tell yourself, I'll start when I'm fully ready. I can't try yet because I'm not good enough. If I make mistakes, I'll fail. But here's the truth. Waiting for perfection can stop you from ever starting. Perfectionism creates fear. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being enough. And that fear keeps you stuck. Aristotle's lesson teaches the opposite. He encourages us to take small, consistent steps, even if they're not perfect, because success doesn't come from one big, perfect action. It comes from steady, regular effort over time. Consistency builds real success. Think about learning to ride a bike. At first, you might fall again and again, but each time you get back up, you learn something new. How to balance, how to turn, how to move forward. You don't wait until you already know how to ride perfectly before trying. You learn by doing. With practice, you improve little by little. And one day, you realize you're riding smoothly, something that once seemed impossible. A simple story, the guitar learner. Let me share a short story. A friend of mine wanted to learn to play the guitar. At first, it was really hard. His fingers hurt, the chords sounded terrible, and he felt embarrassed. He even thought, maybe I'm just not talented enough. But instead of giving up, he decided to practice for just 10 minutes a day. That didn't seem like much, but he kept doing it every single day. At first, progress was slow. But after a few months, something amazing happened. Those small daily practices added up. His fingers became stronger, the chords sounded better, and eventually, he could play full songs, even sing along. He didn't need to be perfect when he started. What mattered most was consistency. The real secret, balance and effort. This story shows a truth we often forget. Steady effort beats perfection every time. When we look at successful people, it can seem like they reach success easily or suddenly. But most of the time, what we don't see are the many small steps they took for years. Real success usually comes from quiet, patient work, not from sudden perfection. Aristotle's golden mean helps us understand this balance. If we push ourselves too hard, we burn out. If we don't push at all, we make no progress. The secret is a balanced, steady approach, a rhythm you can keep for a long time. A question for you. Now, take a moment to think. Are you waiting to be perfect before starting something new? Are you holding back because you're afraid of making mistakes or looking silly? If your answer is yes, then remember Aristotle's wisdom. It's better to begin imperfectly than to wait forever. The path to success is not about never failing. It's about learning from your mistakes, keeping a steady pace, and moving forward one small step at a time. Lesson 3. Self-knowledge and authenticity, Socrates. Know thyself. In our previous lesson, we explored Aristotle's golden mean, the power of balance and steady effort over perfection. We learned that progress is more important than perfection, and that taking small, consistent steps can lead to big changes. Now, we turn to another timeless idea, this time from one of the greatest thinkers in history, Socrates. The wisdom of Socrates. Socrates lived in ancient Greece more than 2,400 years ago and is often called the father of philosophy. He is famous for a simple but powerful phrase, know thyself. At first, that might sound easy. We might think, of course I know myself, I know my name, my likes, and my dislikes. But Socrates meant something much deeper. To him, knowing yourself meant truly understanding who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, and your true desires beneath all the noise of the world. He believed that self-knowledge is one of the most important steps toward happiness and success. Because if you don't understand yourself, how can you make choices that truly fit you? Why knowing yourself matters. When you know what really matters to you, it becomes easier to make good decisions. You can set goals that feel meaningful, not just impressive. Without self-knowledge, it's easy to get lost, following paths that others expect of you, or chasing goals that don't actually bring joy. Socrates once said that an unexamined life is not worth living. That means a life without reflection, without asking yourself, who am I? And why am I doing this? Can feel empty, no matter how successful it looks on the outside. He compared it to sailing a ship without a map. You might be moving fast, but you don't know where you're going. A personal story. Let me share a short story about this idea. When I was younger, I felt a lot of pressure to choose a career that seemed popular and well-paid. Everyone around me said it was the smart choice. So I followed that path, not because I loved it, but because I thought it would make me look successful. At first, things seemed fine. But over time, I began to feel lost and unhappy. I realized I was living by other people's expectations, not my own values. One day, I decided to stop and really ask myself some honest questions. What do I actually enjoy doing? What kind of work gives me energy instead of taking it away? What matters to me most? Those questions weren't easy, but they helped me find clarity. And slowly, I began to change my direction, not to please others, but to follow a path that felt true to me. That's what Socrates meant by knowing yourself, living with self-awareness and authenticity. How to practice self-knowledge. You can begin by asking yourself small but powerful questions. What activities make me lose track of time because I enjoy them so much? What values guide my choices? Honesty, creativity, kindness, independence? What kind of person do I want to become? Writing down your answers or thinking about them for a few minutes each day can help you understand yourself more clearly. It's also about noticing your emotions. When you feel stressed, excited, or proud, ask yourself why. Emotions are signals that help you understand your inner world. Authenticity, living true to yourself. Once you know yourself, the next step is authenticity, living in a way that matches who you are. It means speaking and acting from your true values, not just doing what others expect. Being authentic doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real. Sometimes that requires courage, saying no when everyone else says yes, or choosing a slower path that feels right to you. But authenticity builds peace and confidence because you are no longer pretending. Wisdom is to know yourself. Lesson 4. The importance of community, Confucius, and relationships. So far, we've explored how a strong mindset, balance, and self-knowledge shape our idea of success. Now, let's move to another essential piece of the puzzle, community. This lesson comes from one of the most respected ancient philosophers in East Asia, Confucius. His teachings, which continue to influence people around the world, focus on harmony, relationships, and social responsibility. Confucius believed that true success and happiness come through connection, not isolation. He taught that no matter how skilled, talented, or independent we are, we all need others to grow, learn, and thrive. Family, friends, teachers, mentors, they all play a vital role in helping us become our best selves. We are not islands. Confucius once said that people are like threads in a great tapestry, each one important, but only beautiful when woven together. This idea reminds us that we are not islands. We are part of a network of relationships that shape who we are. How we treat others, how we communicate, and how we show respect, these things deeply affect our happiness and success. At the heart of Confucius' teaching is harmony. Harmony doesn't mean everyone always agrees or thinks the same way. Instead, it means creating balance and respect even when we have differences. It's about listening, being patient, and supporting one another, especially during challenges. When harmony exists in a family, a classroom, or a workplace, people feel safe, respected, and inspired. They can share ideas freely, help each other grow, and face difficulties with strength. The power of support. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever worked on a team where everyone truly supported each other? Or maybe you've had a friend or mentor who believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. Those relationships make a huge difference. They motivate us, teach us, and remind us that we're not alone in our struggles. Let me share a personal story. When I was learning English, there were times I felt completely stuck. Some days, I doubted whether I would ever improve. But then I joined a small study group with friends who were learning too. We practiced speaking together, helped each other with new words, and celebrated every small victory. That group changed everything. Their encouragement gave me energy when I was tired, and their friendship made learning fun. Without that community, my progress would have been much slower and much lonelier. This experience helped me see exactly what Confucius meant. Success is not a solo journey. It's built through the strength of the people who walk beside us. Family and foundations. Confucius also spoke about filial piety, the idea of showing love, respect, and care for one's parents and family. He saw family as the first and most important community. It's where we learn our earliest lessons about kindness, patience, and responsibility. Family gives us a foundation, emotional support, guidance, and strength to face the world. Even when life feels hard, knowing that someone believes in you makes all the difference. Reflect and connect. So here's something to think about. Who helps you stay motivated and focused? Who celebrates your small successes or gives you strength when you feel discouraged? Take a moment to recognize these people, your family, friends, teachers, or coworkers. They are part of your journey, part of your success. And remember, community is a two-way street. Just as others lift you up, you can lift them, too. When you support someone with a kind word, a bit of help, or simple encouragement, you create a positive cycle of trust and goodwill. That's how communities grow strong. Community in the modern world. Today, community can look very different from the past. It might be your family, your workplace, a group of friends who share your interests, or even an online study group. The form doesn't matter. What matters is the connection. Find spaces where you feel valued, understood, and inspired. Those connections give you strength when life feels uncertain and help you keep moving forward. The Confucian view of success. Confucius reminds us that success is not only about what you achieve alone. It's about how you contribute to the lives of others and how others shape your journey in return. Success is often a shared effort, even if it looks like an individual achievement from the outside. Behind every self-made person, there are always teachers, friends, and supporters who helped along the way. So, as you continue your own path, remember this. You don't have to do it alone. Success grows stronger when it's shared. Lesson 5. Embracing change and uncertainty, Heraclitus, and the flow of life. So far in our series, we've learned important lessons about mindset, balance, self-knowledge, and community. Now, let's talk about another powerful idea that can shape your path to success, the importance of accepting change and uncertainty. This lesson comes from the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus, who lived more than 2,500 years ago. Heraclitus is best known for his famous saying, "You cannot step into the same river twice." At first, this might sound strange. What does a river have to do with life? But if you think about it, the meaning becomes clear. When you step into a river, the water that touches you keeps moving. If you step in again, new water has already taken its place. The river keeps flowing and never stays the same. Heraclitus used this image to explain a simple but powerful truth. Life is always changing. Nothing stays exactly the same. Everything, people, situations, emotions, and even our dreams, is always moving and transforming. The nature of change. This idea can feel uncomfortable. Most of us like stability. We want things to feel safe and predictable. We like knowing what will happen tomorrow. But Heraclitus reminds us that change is not something to fear. It's something to understand and accept. Change is part of life's natural flow. Trying to stop it only leads to frustration. Think about the world we live in today. Technology evolves every day. Jobs appear and disappear. People move, relationships shift, and unexpected events like a global pandemic can transform everything in a short time. We can't control these changes, but we can control how we respond to them. Flowing with change. Heraclitus believed that wisdom comes from learning to flow with change instead of fighting against it. When we adapt, we grow stronger. When we stay flexible, we can find new opportunities even in difficult times. Imagine a tree in a strong wind. A rigid tree might break, but a flexible tree bends and survives. That's what it means to embrace change, not to give up, but to adjust and stay grounded while moving with life's flow. A personal story. Let me share a personal story about change. A few years ago, I had a job that I really liked. The work was interesting, my coworkers were kind, and I felt comfortable. But one day, the company announced that it was closing. Suddenly, everything changed. At first, I felt lost and scared. I didn't know what to do next. I kept thinking, why did this happen to me? But after some time, I realized that I had a choice. I could stay sad and stuck, or I could see this as an opportunity to start something new. So, I began to look for new paths. I joined a training program, learned new skills, and met new people. Eventually, I found a better job that allowed me to grow and do meaningful work. Looking back, I now see that losing my old job was not the end. It was a new beginning. This experience taught me that every change, even the painful ones, carries a lesson or a hidden opportunity. Lessons from Heraclitus. Heraclitus teaches us that life is never still. Just like a river, it keeps moving, and so should we. When we learn to accept this truth, we stop wasting energy trying to control everything. Instead, we focus on what we can do. Adapt to new situations. Stay curious and open-minded. Keep learning and growing. Change helps us discover new strengths and new versions of ourselves. Even when life feels uncertain, we can remind ourselves that every ending opens the door to something new. Reflection. Here's something to think about this week. What changes have you experienced recently? How did those changes make you feel? Did you resist them, or did you find a way to adapt? Take a moment to reflect on how change has shaped you. Often, when we look back, we realize that the moments we feared the most were the ones that helped us grow the most. Conclusion. To sum up, Heraclitus reminds us that life is a river, always flowing, always moving. Instead of trying to hold on to what's familiar, learn to move with the current. Accept that change is part of your journey and see uncertainty as a teacher, not an enemy. Lesson 6. Bringing it all together, creating your own success philosophy. Over the past few lessons, we've explored powerful ideas from ancient philosophers, wisdom that continues to guide us even in today's fast-changing world. Now, it's time to bring everything together and think about how you can use these lessons to create your own personal philosophy of success. Let's start by remembering what we've learned so far. 1. The power of mindset, Stoicism. From Stoicism, we learned about the power of mindset, the idea that while we cannot control everything that happens, we can always control how we respond. Life will bring challenges, surprises, and even pain, but our reaction determines whether we grow stronger or stay stuck. Stoic thinkers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius remind us that peace comes from focusing on what's within our control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and letting go of what's beyond our control. When we accept this truth, we become calmer, more focused, and more confident in facing whatever life brings. Ask yourself, am I spending energy on things I cannot change? Or am I focusing on what I can do right now? This simple question can help you regain balance whenever you feel overwhelmed. 2. The importance of balance, the middle way. From Aristotle and the idea of the golden mean, we learned that success often lies in balance. Too much of anything, even something good, can lead us off track. Balance means knowing when to act and when to rest, when to speak and when to listen, when to be ambitious and when to be content. Finding balance helps us make wiser decisions and live with more harmony. It also reminds us that success isn't just about constant achievement. It's about creating a sustainable and fulfilling life. 3. Knowing yourself, Socrates. From Socrates, we learned the timeless advice. Know thyself. True success begins with self-understanding, knowing what matters to you, what motivates you, and what kind of life you truly want. When you take time to reflect on your values, your passions, and your goals, you make choices that align with your authentic self. You stop chasing what others expect and start building a life that feels right for you. Ask yourself, what do I truly want and why? The more honest you are with that question, the clearer your direction becomes. 4. The power of community, Confucius. From Confucius, we learned that success isn't just about individual effort. It's also about relationships and community. We grow stronger when we support one another, show respect, and live with kindness and responsibility. Confucius taught that harmony and respect create the foundation for a happy and successful life. No one achieves great things completely alone. When we build strong connections with family, friends, teachers, or colleagues, we create an environment of trust and encouragement that helps everyone succeed together. Take a moment to reflect. Who are the people that lift me up, and how can I support them in return? 5. Embracing change, Heraclitus. And from Heraclitus, we learned about the power of change. He reminded us that life is like a river, always flowing, always moving. Nothing stays the same, and that's okay. Instead of fearing change, we can learn to move with it, to adapt, to stay flexible, and to see uncertainty as an opportunity for growth. Change can be uncomfortable, but it's also where we learn the most about ourselves. Ask yourself, how can I flow with this change instead of fighting it? This mindset builds resilience and helps you face the unknown with courage. Creating your own success philosophy. Now that you've learned these lessons, think about how you can bring them together to form your own philosophy of success. There's no single right formula. Your philosophy should fit you and your life. Here are some guiding questions to help you design it. What values are most important to me? How do I define success in my own words? How can I stay balanced between ambition and peace? Who are the people that support and inspire me? How will I stay open to change and keep learning? Your answers to these questions are like the blueprint of your personal philosophy, a map you can return to whenever life feels uncertain or difficult. Final reflection. Let's take a moment to look at the big picture. Stoicism teaches you strength from within. Aristotle reminds you to seek balance. Socrates guides you to know yourself. Confucius shows you the power of community. Heraclitus teaches you to flow with change. Together, these lessons form a timeless foundation for a meaningful life, one that combines wisdom, courage, compassion, and growth. Remember, success is not only about what you achieve, but about who you become along the way. It's a journey of learning, growing, and connecting, both with yourself and with others. Thank you for joining me through this journey of ancient wisdom and modern success. Take these lessons with you, reflect on them, and start building your own path, one that feels true, balanced, and full of purpose. Because in the end, the greatest success is living a life that is true to who you really are. Bringing it all together, your personal success philosophy. Throughout our journey, we have explored many lessons from ancient philosophers, lessons that can help us live a more meaningful and successful life. Let's quickly review what we've learned. 1. Stoicism and the power of mindset. When things go wrong, a resilient mindset helps us stay calm and move forward instead of getting stuck in frustration or fear. Stoic thinkers taught us that we cannot control everything in life, but we can control how we respond. Focusing on what we can control gives us strength, patience, and peace, even in difficult times. 2. Aristotle and the golden mean. Next, we explored Aristotle's idea of the golden mean, which teaches us the importance of balance and consistency. Many people struggle with perfectionism, the belief that we must do everything perfectly or not at all. But real success comes from steady, regular effort, not from waiting for the perfect moment. Whether you are learning a new language, starting a business, or improving your health, consistent small steps matter more than perfection. Patience and practice are the keys to progress. 3. Socrates and self-knowledge. Socrates reminds us with his famous advice, know thyself. True success begins with understanding yourself, your values, your goals, and your true desires. Without self-knowledge, it is easy to follow paths that don't fit you. Reflection helps you make better decisions, live authentically, and take actions that truly matter to you. 4. Confucius and the power of relationships. We also learned from Confucius that success is rarely a solo journey. Family, friends, mentors, and colleagues can provide guidance, encouragement, and support. Strong relationships help us stay focused, learn important lessons, and keep moving forward. At the same time, giving back and supporting others strengthens both you and your community. 5. Heraclitus and embracing change. Finally, we looked at Heraclitus, who taught that change is constant in life. Nothing stays the same forever. Plans may fail. Opportunities may come and go. By accepting that change is natural, we can face uncertainty with confidence. Flexibility, open-mindedness, and adaptability help us stay on track, even when the future feels unclear. Creating your own success philosophy. Now comes the most important part, turning these ideas into practical guidance for your life. One way to do this is by creating your own success philosophy. This doesn't have to be complicated. It can be a few sentences, a short list, or even a set of guiding principles that help you make choices and take action. For example, your philosophy might include ideas like, I will focus on what I can control. I will take small, consistent steps toward my goals. I will stay true to myself and my values. I will build strong, supportive relationships. I will accept change and adapt when needed. Reflection. Your success philosophy is your personal guide. It helps you stay grounded when life is uncertain, motivated when challenges appear, and focused on what truly matters to you. Take a few moments this week to think about your own guiding principles. Write them down, repeat them, and let them shape your decisions. Over time, these small, consistent steps will help you create a life that feels meaningful, balanced, and successful, your own unique version of success. Reflection and practical steps for your journey. I will welcome change and keep growing. You can write this in your journal, on a piece of paper, or even in your phone. Read it whenever you feel lost, stuck, or unsure. It will remind you of what really matters and help you make better choices. Another simple step is to set aside a little time each week for reflection. It doesn't have to be long. Even 5 minutes can help. Ask yourself questions like, what went well this week? What did I learn? Where did I feel challenged, and how did I respond? What can I improve next week? These small moments of reflection help you grow and stay connected to your goals. Over time, you will notice patterns in your actions and gain more self-awareness. Remember, creating your success philosophy is not about being perfect. It's about being curious, honest, and open to learning. Life will keep changing, and so will you. Your definition of success may shift as you grow, and that's okay. In fact, that's the beauty of it. Your journey is personal, and you are allowed to shape it in a way that feels true to you. Before we end, here's a reflective question for you. What kind of person do you want to become? And what small step can you take today to move in that direction? It's not about changing your life overnight. It's about starting with one step, one choice, one thought, and repeating it patiently and with purpose. Final thoughts. Thank you for joining me on this journey through ancient wisdom and modern ideas about success. We've explored many lessons. Stoicism. Focus on what you can control. Aristotle. Seek balance and consistent effort. Socrates. Truly know yourself. Confucius. Success is shared, not solo. Heraclitus. Change is natural, and you can flow with it. You don't need to remember every detail or apply every lesson perfectly. Success isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing something small with focus and intention. Even choosing just one idea from today and trying it this week can make a real difference. Ask yourself, which lesson spoke to you the most? How can you apply it in your life? Maybe it's taking one small step toward a goal you've been afraid to start. Maybe it's letting go of perfection and simply showing up with your best effort. Or maybe it's connecting with someone who supports you or someone you want to support in return. Remember, the most important lessons are not the ones we hear, they are the ones we use. A powerful final question. Take a moment to reflect on this. What kind of success feels right for you? What kind of person do you want to become in the process? There is no single correct answer. Your thoughts may change as you learn and grow. But asking these questions regularly will help you stay true to yourself and shape a life with meaning, not just movement. Pause, breathe, and reflect. You don't need to rush. Think, what is my next small step? I believe in your ability to take it, not because you need to be perfect, not because you have everything figured out, but because you are willing to try. And that willingness is the beginning of success. Thank you so much for listening to Super English Talks. If this episode helped you think, feel, or reflect in a new way, come back, revisit the lessons, and keep moving forward. Remember, one step, one thought, one decision at a time. Until next time, stay curious, be kind to yourself, and never stop learning, not just English, but about yourself and the world around you.